Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. It's always a pleasure every Tuesday evening where we come into your homes and we talk sports. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend. My weekend was fun. Had some exciting moments, and I really hope that you, the viewers, the same. We're going to be talking football again this week. We're going to do a two-part series with this episode because there's so much to talk about, and especially with the two guests that I have on show tonight. And first of all, let me introduce Mr. Earl Mango Pierre. Who in Trinidad and Tobago don't know mango? There's one mango always in season, never out of season. Mango, it's a pleasure. Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
And then we have Mr. Eric Barndy Thomas, football coach, a guy who grew up in Santa Cruz and migrated to the States and is doing a great job. And he will tell us a bit about what he's doing abroad and what's his purpose of his visit back home. Eric, it's a pleasure. Welcome to ACTN.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure being here as a guest, even though my schedule is very tight.
I appreciate that.
I make the effort to be here tonight.
Tell us a bit about Eric Barndy Thomas.
Well, originally, I'm from the little village, Bukmalatras, Lower Santa Cruz. A family of siblings of 10.
A small close side there, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, we had 3 girls in the 10, but, we were still able to have a side to play soccer at an early age. And, my development started, I went to Bukmalatras RC School, and from there, I moved on to Aranguez Junior Sec. And after leaving primary school, representing the school, I went to Aranguez. Fortunately, that was the second set of students to enter Aranguez at that time. So they were fully new to soccer, cricket, as the case may be. And then I spent 3 years there and moved on to Belmont Intermediate, where I went there. Belmont have a very, very, very high with Brown and Gary Evelyn and these guys. Made an impact like about 2 years.
I did something with that school a couple years back. There's a lot of football history in that school.
So when I went there, it was a very, a reputation that we had to maintain, that Big Bird, as they call him, Barry Brown, and Gary Evelyn, Clocky, as we all know him too, leave a couple of years before that by winning the Intercut. My coach there was this guy called King, Alwyn King, who died recently. And we started as underdogs, even though we had a high reputation, because the team coming back and trying to build that reputation that these guys left behind, that we had to carry on. Unfortunately, we didn't win anything, but we competed a lot in the North Zone.
So that was it. What level of football you played?
Well, actually...
I think I read something where you got an injury or something.
Actually what happened is that I started playing soccer competitive at the age of 9. And through my career, I moved from, I was fortunate to play every division in Trinidad and Tobago football, from 4th to National League. So I played for a team called Wasri from the community for a couple of years. Then I moved on to Bluffers from Barataria, and then on to Challengers from El Sico, Barataria area in the National League.
Okay.
At 21.
Okay. Were you able to represent Trinidad and Tobago at any level?
Actually, I was on the youth team, not for too long. Injuries, barren, and then I had captained the East All-Star team against the Jamaican national team was visiting one year at Arima Velodrome. It was an honor to captain the East All-Star team. The coach at that time was Vernon Bain.
Yes.
That's what the guy was, the coach at the time.
He's deceased now.
Yes, he's also deceased now, unfortunately.
I also did a program with him when he had a little coaching school. Yeah.
And then while representing Challengers, I went on to play for Northeast All-Stars in the Red Cross Classic. I know some of these soccer players today ain't no about that.
That's where we used to see football.
That was the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
You know, rubbing shoulders with guys like Marlon Waterman and Stuart Charles and these guys, and then, coming out of, East, North versus South Central. Actually, my first game was at the Oval. Mm-hmm. And again, I was fortunate to score the first goal in that game that we beat South 5-1. And for the next 3 years, I represent Northeast team in the Red Cross.
As the only time we'll ever beat South?
No. That 3 years we beat them. And I was called for the national team under Alvin Cornell. But I was injured. So unfortunately, I reported a training session, but I just couldn't take part. My injury took a bit long to recover. So by that time, I decided that I'm going to migrate. And that's why I end up in the United States.
And that's why you're coaching?
No, actually my coaching career really started here.
Okay.
I leave Challengers in 1986 and went back home to my community and established a team called BM Spurs, Bugmalatra Spurs.
Yeah.
I was like coach player at that time. And again, the success was great. We win the East Zone, we win League Cup, we win FA Cup under my stewardship.
Okay, that's good.
And then during those years too, I used to travel every year with a team called BW Graduates.
Yeah, the Torrent team.
The Torrent team.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I used to travel with them every year, so I always had a break with the team before I officially migrate to the United States.
Okay. I will get back into you in a while. I don't want Mango. I feel like this feel lonely fast. Mango, you are, I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the program, but you are the president of the Players Association. And you have been so vocal over a number of years, insisting that the Players Association, why is it so important, right, to get this organization running. Take the time out and tell us why it is, why you feel that this is so important and necessary to have this association going.
First, let me say, because I work with some photos too.
Yeah.
This is Barndy.
Okay, right.
This team.
Right.
In Brooklyn.
Right.
That he always had like.
Well, I know there's nothing in football you don't have. yeah, sir.
Tell me about it.
Except next year.
Right.
We have players who represented youth teams, national teams.
Right.
And he was very successful. Mm-hmm. The only thing between us is that we never competed against each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Players play for him, then they play for me in New Jersey.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. About the Players Association, let me give you a little bit of history first. I started it in Brooklyn in 1992. The reason why there was this individual who was in charge of the Caribbean Cup, which is a tournament where all the islands play against each other. And what happened, he used to go around and solicit funds and didn't bring it to the table. So, thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, I showed him what the police could do with my investigative skills.
Yeah.
I went around to the sponsors, got the proof, and I warned them for this. I said, listen, stop what you're doing. It's wrong. He did not take me on. So is it
the same individual who continue right now with bringing the same cup to the Caribbean?
No. He passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what the individual. So, went to court. He came with a big lawyer, Mr. Figaro, who defended Louis case in the Bronx, where the cops had shot him 21 times. But Mr. Figaro didn't come, he sent another lawyer. So I told this player to bring a uniform, which is a used uniform. So the player, he was in the back of me, and his lawyer, thankfully, went first. Now remember, he's going to repeat what the person told him.
Yeah.
So when he said, Mr. So-and-so had to buy uniforms, I look around at my player, And he had a smile, and his smile is like, yes, we have him. So after I gave my evidence, we won the case, right? Anyway, so as I said, I started Players Association in Brooklyn. Now, while being in contact with football in Trinidad, there were some issues in the professional league. Whereas, there was this one team, forget the name of the club. It wasn't the gambling organization. What's the name of the gambling?
National Lotteries?
No. The one where you could go and play games and all that stuff. Car company.
Yeah.
They had a very good program. Michael McComey, God rest his soul, used to push the team.
Okay.
Right? And only to find out it wasn't his professional team, the company, it was somebody else. So they was trying to, of course, exploit the players.
Oh, Mapo.
Mapo, that's right.
Yeah.
They were trying to exploit the players, so I got a call from one of my educated players who he told me what was going on, and I said, listen, you know what to do? Right. And what happened? They wrote, and they got that squared away with regards to players they got their monies. Now, moving forward, it still continues. As we know, another team, Central FC, players were complaining, even staff, you see it on Facebook, they've been owed them money, and they're not being paid. Now, I am saying this. Now, George, I don't want to start it. There must be other people trying to be like Mango, who see these players are being exploited. It's very important to get the Players Association started, to defend their rights. You see? Now, here's another reason why the Players Association have to be started. The Players Association is like is also a mentorship organization where we need to help the players with respect to letting them know that there is life after football. So during your footballing, you have to do something else. If you're not interested in school, getting your scholarship to fall back on, you must do a technical something or a trade.
Yeah.
Because as we see, we're losing footballers now because of the life of crime.
True.
Benjamin just passed, have another footballer who...
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of them. And it hurts, Georgie, because it's not supposed to be happening. Okay, some of the players get to understand that they have a contract for 2 years, but they're only being paid while the tournament is in gear. So what happened to the other 6 months? How are they living? How are they feeding the kids and taking care of themselves? Nothing else but they will turn to crime, right? So, Mr. Selby, he called me because the book I gave you about Trinidad and Tobago, 100 years, I see at the heading Veterans Association plus Players Association, and he wanted me to come on board, and I had a discussion with him saying that I cannot come on board. Players Association and Veterans Association have to be separate. Now that book that came out in 2008, okay? How is it? It's saying Players Association, and players are going through what they're going through in the Pro League.
Yeah, but is the Players Association, is it dormant or is it operational right now?
That's what I'm saying. Now, in Trinidad, I think it's dormant because nothing is happening. I am doing things behind the scene, with respect to, I started the most goals competition in the Pro League. Devon Durslin won twice, 3 times. Mackenzie Lewis from Police won once. Marcus Joseph twice. And Akim Roach.
Right.
And I am showing them that although they have to say that the Players Association would not work because of the Army and Police, I am saying we could work around that. The Players Association I'm speaking about is for everybody with regards to individuals in underprivileged communities with boots, equipment, so forth and so on. And also, as I said, mentoring them.
But have you tried to recruit people who could see your vision and get on board with the association?
No, not really. As I said, Georgie, okay, let me retract a little. In New York, when the first hearing was called, 12 players came, right?
Okay.
I felt good. I said, they supported it. The individual asked the court case to be postponed. The last hearing, one player came out, Georgie. If he had not come out, that was it.
So is it that the players do not see the importance of a players association?
You remember this calypso by my show? Treaty people doesn't know what they want?
Yeah, we know, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They know of the importers, but like Earl, Spider-Man, used to be saying to me, Mango, why are you doing this? These players don't know what they want. So being a Christian, right? Just as how we try to save souls for the kingdom of God, I used to tell Carter, if it's one person understands, you understand what I'm saying? We still have to cannot give up. We have to try to save as much as players important from getting into the life of crime. This is why I big up and I will support the police youth clubs for what they are doing with respect to trying to save these kids, plus other organizations.
Yeah, they're also the prisons youth club too.
Right. Because we have to really try to save them. I can give you another testimony. I went to look at Marvin Oliver trained at Jabalti, right? This kid came standing up next to me. And Wesley Webb, one of my players, he came by and said, why are you not training? The kid said, I don't have a boot, sir. Right? So, everybody know Mango like to buy boots for players. So, the boy said, well, talk to him. So I said, what happened to your boots? He said, mash up, sir. And the way you're saying, sir, it was penetrating my heart, right?
Yeah.
So then, I said, where are you from? He said, Caranage. A light bulb light up because great players come for Caranage, Waterbird, Ron Lafori, the works, right? So when I called the names, like he is younger, he didn't really know them. And I said, so Wesley came back and I said, Wesley, you good for boots? He watched me say, yeah, Mango, but you have to talk to that officer over there. So when the officer came, he was from YTC. So I said, who I am. And I said, listen, I would like to buy a boost for him, but I'd like to do a story, because my then writer, Gregory Trujillo from Guardian, God rest his soul, will do my stories. So he told me, like, he has to speak to the commissioner, and then I got to understand why. So I said, listen, forget about it. Just going to do it. But he invited me to a tournament at YTC. And George, when I went to that tournament, all he's telling me, this one here for murder, this. And I couldn't believe these kids. And this is where our young players was ended up.
Yeah, because the time I was, but you know, I did some work it have men from the national rugby team. It have great footballers. I think one of these guys who I met in there now, I don't know if he's still with Seekers FC, Akila Atta.
Yeah.
Good footballer.
Yeah, he has his own team now.
Yeah, right. In the new league.
In the new league, in the ball park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, son.
Yeah. So what happened? I called Kurtwin Bed, another ex-police. Remember Kurtwin came to Brooklyn and represent Trinidad and Tobago team. And when I saw his talent, I let him coach him because I like managing, just like Barndy. Barndy's coach, I get everything. So I called Kurtwin and I said, Kurtwin, this is what's happening. He said, Mango, the same program they're doing in YTC, not knocking who's in charge, because I saw the gentleman, I forget his name, who's in charge, he's like the father. Because it's what they're doing is trying to reform them to get them back into society. Yeah. He said that program needs to be taken to the communities because of the young people that making the kids.
Yes.
Which makes sense. You see?
Yeah.
So this is the reason why.
But what I'm getting from you here is that you're not getting the support from the players who are the main beneficiaries to this whole thing. Yeah. Right? But we have a tendency of not wanting to do what is right first, and then when they hit the ceiling and they come back down, then we look to do what is right. Yeah. Because I would think that a players' association wants us to benefit me as an individual playing football, right? Because it's not like we are like the bigger countries where we, as a footballer, you can have a manager who could, you sitting in the back there, I negotiate salaries and benefits and everything for you. We don't have that thing. But if you could have an organization that could assist in that manner,
that's right.
I will welcome it.
That's right.
So the ball really is in the players' hands.
Yep.
You understand? Yep. I mean, what do you people say? You can carry the horse to the trail where you can't force it to drink or something like that.
That's right.
So you just have to keep on doing what we're doing, right? But when you look back now at the influence that you had with the players, you are satisfied with that you have done your best, right? Maybe somewhere down the road, somebody might, there's a new breed of footballers might come forward and see the importance, of...
And the vision. That he's trying to share.
Yeah, sir. But what you have to do is that you have to, it might be difficult, but I would suggest that you try to get somebody who you can mold. Because we will going to be here for the rest of your life. But you will want somebody with the history and the know-how of the association that 10, 15 years down the road, we get sensible footballers and they see the need for it, right? They will already know it's there. Yeah. So even if you're not getting the support now, you can't let it die.
No,
right?
It's not gonna die.
Because it's important, yeah. But Barndy, is there anything in the States similar to what Mango is doing to benefit players?
Yeah, there's a lot. But what happened is that the kids and them some of the kids have the same philosophy, all right? As a mentor, since I migrated to America, it's 31 years now. I had my own soccer club in Brooklyn for 22 years. With that, I moved on to even coach the Trinidad and Tobago-based national team in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Right? And the players in them, when you reach out to them and try to explain to them the importance of this to this, it's like you hit a rock. You hit a rock.
But when they turn pro, their mindset change because there's the time they're looking for managers and people to make sure that, all their money and everything is on board.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of us fail.
Okay.
To reach to the stage to play pro, because we didn't have that mindset, and that know-how. Because like a lot of the kids who passed through me in Brooklyn, when I started my program, I really established the program for the kids on break from college to keep them physically fit when they go back out to college. That was my main goal in establishing my club, Friends Sports Club.
Okay.
Originally, it started off as Challengers, Barataria, Ebonites, and Friends.
Okay.
Because the three clubs within the community are sound.
That's a long football name, boy.
Right? That's how it started. And then eventually, it started to grow with people outside of this community and outside of even Trinidad and Tobago. I'm talking about St. Vincent, Grenadian, Jamaican, Guyanese.
Caribbean.
A Caribbean-oriented thing. So then we decided, you know what? We stamp out the Challengers, ball players, and Ebonites, and we just use it as Friends Sports Club. and build a establishment for 22 years, right? And as they come into Brooklyn, you know, every coach want to have the best players. Every coach would like to keep the best players. But my philosophy is this. If you want to achieve your goal as a soccer player, you can't stay in Brooklyn. You have to get out. It's all good that I have this program here for you as a mentor, but you have to get out. And that's what I advise them. And I have this youth called Akil Pompey that went on and played in some African countries. Very good left-footed player, coming down the left side, you know, anywhere there. And it was an honor for me to see that he established himself out there coming out on my program. Brent Sancho, he was under my wings in Brooklyn. Went on with St. John's. Then I get the opportunity to be the assistant coach at Staten Island Vipers in the A-League, where Marvin Oliver and Zip Nose, Moving Josephson, was part of the program also. And I stayed there for 3 years, you know, watch development, see how, you know, America do their stuff compared to the way the Caribbean people do their stuff, you know. And it opened my eyes a lot, even though, you know, I had a lot of experience playing and coaching at the time, but it opened my mind. And that's the same thing I try to tell the youths and them when they come. Don't stay in Brooklyn. If you really want to make it, you have to get out. Another thing you got to do your own work. You know, you stay in Brooklyn. Yes, I know the weather factor is a big issue because we have 9 months of winter, 3 months of summer, really, basically. I say you got to get up in the morning. You got to take a run. You got to run a mile. You got to do your extra work. Don't just sit down because at the end of the day, if you want it that bad, you have to work for it, you know? And I was, you know, fortunate that a lot of the players out of the Caribbean, I'm talking about Ricky Charles from Grenada, who captained Grenada, was even under my wings in Brooklyn. Because he came up to play for Grenada in the Caribbean Cup. We played them in the final. At that time, I was a player. And we beat them on penalty kicks. You know, that's when 1996 we won the Caribbean Cup. You know, and it was an honor for me to see that, you know, not even only Trinidadians was vying to come to this program because what I put on the table for them, you know, the way I establish the club, the way I do things, I didn't just look at it as just one collaboration. You know, I make it an international collaboration.
Well said.
Let me just touch this.
Let's have 30 seconds.
With regards to the professional team, I myself, it was Brooklyn Knights and Staten Island Vipers. They contacted me and they said, man, we want to come on board as the equipment manager. I said, I have a big team in Jersey, owner, you want me to come to the equipment manager? So the boys just humbly went and be equipment manager. Because what happened, I used to love, after I played, go to the laundromat and wash my uniforms. So it wasn't nothing for me, but it was a great, great experience. Because as Barndy said, it opens our eyes with regards to, but the owner, a lawyer and his wife, decided not to do the big team anymore, but get involved with the youths. And his owner, he passed away. This is when the team crashed. It was a car dealership.
Manfredi.
But the coach Mexico, some years ago, from that team.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for giving us the insight here in the first part of this interview, right? I know you're all going to be staying on because we have another part to do. Viewers, we have come to the end of part 1 of Scoreboard here, where we're talking football with the brains of football, the people who were there when football was football. We hope you enjoyed this week, but stay tuned next week for part 2 of this interesting interview, where we're going to be jumping in and talking about Trinidad football. Where are we since 2006? So stay with us, stay locked on, have a blessed week ahead, and join me next week for part 2 of this interesting interview.